Hey guys, this is Nicole from Anchorspace. Um, what I'm realizing is that I really enjoy sort of video check-ins with people. So what I'm going to try for the next little while is just a weekly check-in. I'm calling it the Coworking Cuppa because, you know, having this around the middle of the day on Wednesday, just when I have a bit of a lull after a bunch of meetings, it's just nice to kind of think about catching up, talking with you about what's going on, answer any questions you have about anchor space or co-working in general or what I'm up to. So I'm working from home today, hence the background ambiance. And there's some people howling outside my window, which is kind of interesting. So let's get some kind of frequently asked questions out of the way in case you're meeting me for the first time. So my name is Nicole, and about 8 years ago, I was in a city and I saw a co-working space, and I thought that's such a great idea. We should have one of these. At the time, I was living in Bar Harbor, Maine, and so I opened the first Anchor Space Bar Harbor, back in 2015. So like 5 years ago or so, maybe it was 2014. No, it was 2015, I think. Anyway, so I opened Anchorspace 1.0 in Bar Harbor. And then for a long story that involves basically Tinder and basically involves Tinder, I met a guy and he was moving to upstate New York and I ended up being here a lot. And so I opened the second Anchor Space in 2019, Anchor Space Potsdam. So I've got two spaces in two different states. And because I'm back and forth, that works well for me. But for somebody visiting the site, I get that it can probably seem random. There's these two spaces. What's really funny, though, is since I've been back and forth, that there seems to be a bit of a corridor between upstate New York and coastal Maine. Like, I know multiple people in Maine who are originally from upstate New York, where I'm at. And I know a bunch of people who live here in upstate New York who frequently go to the part of, to Bar Harbor in that general area. So it's kind of interesting how there's like a little bit of a connection there. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about what we have going on in Anchor Space and also a trend I'm noticing actually across multiple types of businesses and as a corporate trend. So the challenge right now, obviously, is that a lot of us are working from home, like I am today, in hearing howling outside my window. So if you can hear the howling, just enjoy that. But the challenges of working from home, obviously, besides having random college students howling outside your window, is that you have other things to manage, especially if you have kids who are trying to learn from home, at least part of or full time. And you have maybe a partner or some other adults in the house who are trying to get some work done or otherwise do something productive besides, uh, talking to themselves. So what I'm noticing that's kind of interesting is we have this cool trend where businesses are starting to offer family memberships. So most notably is I've seen Dropbox do this, but I've seen other ones too, and I just couldn't think of ones in time for this broadcast. But the family membership basically takes this thing that you're trying to do and it allows you to offer it for the same price point, but that multiple people can use. So things like everybody has their own login and password, or that people can share different different assets when using that service. So maybe I can make a list or something and then someone else would be able to see it, that kind of thing. So Dropbox has these family plans. They launched this, I think, back in June, but I saw they did a kind of big marketing push for it about a week ago. And I'm noticing that other people are doing this too. Now, I'm in a group of co-working spaces in the state of Maine, and a bunch of people, multiple spaces actually, in the next couple of weeks are going to be offering family memberships as a thing. So the idea with the family membership is, first of all, it gives the adults someplace else to go, like a safe second space, if you will. And so maybe one person can stay and work with the kids on schooling. The other person goes into the office, and then it switches off. That kind of thing. But also it kind of broadens our world a little bit. So we've all increasingly, obviously, we're staying home, we're socially distancing and all that. But that can be really kind of psychologically difficult. So what we've done at both Anchor Spaces is we've socially distanced the desks. We have a mask policy so that if you're not at your desk, you have to be wearing a mask. And we've recently gotten air filters for the location. So here's me with our. So I've got the one. We've got two in Potsdam because our space is a little bit bigger. We have one in Maine, and the idea with these HEPA filter air changers is that we can circulate the air twice an hour through Anchor Space. So that's like another way to keep us safe as we get into the winter and can't do things like open windows easily because it's cold. We want people to keep feeling safe when they're at Anchor Space. So we'll keep taking these precautions as we think of them. We're considering some maybe barriers between the desks, but right now they're pretty socially distanced, and we honestly don't have a ton of members. We've been really restrictive and not taking day and weekly users, especially this summer in Maine. That cost us a fair bit of money, but we really wanted to be safe. And I think that was the right thing to do. Maybe I didn't want to do it sometimes, but I'm glad we had that as a policy. So yeah, what we want to do is we want to provide a safe, productive environment for people. And so we're offering these family memberships. So you can take the monthly membership and divide that over a couple of people. And the other thing to know is that a lot of companies offer to pay for things like office space, and co-working space memberships tend to be really inexpensive way for them to offer you an office. Let's face it, if they gave you a stipend to set up an office at home and you would be buying furniture and they'd be paying for your internet and all this stuff, going to a co-working space, you can basically get like a really nice product. We have stand sit desks at both locations. We have ergonomic chairs. We have high-speed internet. And so all of that would cost a company like hundreds of dollars to give that to you every single month. And yeah, and I think what we have is pretty affordable and also like really high quality. So to celebrate our whole family membership thing, we are doing a little bit of a giveaway, actually. So if you go to anchorspace.com/family memberships, it's also linked in our menu too. Like if you go to book now, one of the options is family memberships. But if you go on this page and scroll down just a little tiny bit here, we have a giveaway essentially for a family membership, actually 2 family memberships for November and December at both locations. So to enter the Potsdam one, you can go to the Potsdam link, and to enter the Maine one, you can go to the Maine link. But you can also, if you want to go there directly, anchorspacepotsdam.com/giveaway or anchorspacebarharbor.com/giveaway. It's the same thing. I just mixed those two things up, but it's the same. You get the idea. So you can enter to win a family membership, give it a shot, see if it's your thing. That's what I always tell people is like, try it out. And if it's not your thing, that's okay. Not everybody is into co-working. And I totally get that, because until I tried it, I wasn't quite sure if I'd like it either. But it's just the right balance of having stuff going on around you, but without the obligation of necessarily talking to anyone if you don't want to. You can have little break room conversations, or you can not. You can hole up in a corner and just work all day, or you can, decide that maybe you want to go for a socially distanced walk with a member at lunchtime. So different people operate differently, and we kind of have this open-ended space so that people can do that more easily. So if you have any questions about Anchor Space family memberships or about Anchor Space in general, feel free to reach out. Definitely happy to do that. You can just leave a comment wherever you see this video, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, because that's where we're broadcasting now. So my goal is on Wednesdays around 1:15 to come on here and talk a little bit about something we have going on, maybe something a member is doing, maybe our upcoming program we have, maybe a benefit that most people don't know about, like our co-working visa program, where we partner with independent co-working spaces all over the world to offer 1 to 3 days of free usage of our space. Again, not necessarily the most compelling thing during end times to talk about, but something we definitely have. So anyway, I look forward to getting to know you and you getting to know me as we catch up at this Coworking Cuppa weekly event. See, I made this graphic. It's beautiful. So thanks for watching. I hope you're having a lovely drink right now and you're feeling cozy somewhere. And I look forward to seeing you next week. All right, take care.